In today's video, I want to speak on what is sleep paralysis, my sleep paralysis experiences, and how I personally limit bad sleep paralysis experiences. And sleep paralysis is like the word implies, it's when your body goes to sleep but your mind stays awake. And for many, this can be a fearful experience accompanied by frightening visual and auditory hallucinations. But me personally, I've never had a truly frightening sleep paralysis experience. The most frightening thing that I've had happen to me might be the sense of restricted breathing or movement or hearing whispers in the corner of the room. But even then, that's really not all that frightening, and I've kind of adjusted to the experience. But here are some practical tips that I use to avoid having sort of the scary sleep paralysis experiences. And one, and this is a tip I sometimes follow depending on my level of comfort, but the first tip that someone can employ is to avoid sleeping with your back to the bed when performing dream work or wanting to reduce bad sleep paralysis experiences. When you sleep with your back to the bed and have sleep paralysis, there can often be a greater sense of helplessness, restricted movement, restricted breathing, and overall a greater sense of fear. Personally, the way my imagination works is that I feel that when I'm sleeping with my back to the bed and have sleep paralysis, I give my subconscious more of a reason to summon up something scary that I don't want to see. And so, one recommendation is to avoid sleeping with your back to the bed, and you can sleep on your sides or on your stomach. I've noticed that for me, if I don't want to risk any sort of visual hallucination, I sleep on my side or on my stomach, and this can be a lot more calming on the subconscious. One of the second best tips I use for dealing with sleep paralysis is to wiggle my toes and fingertips when I'm having an episode. I've noticed that when I wiggle my toes and fingertips, I can typically break out in probably under 6 to 7 seconds. Whereas if you're trying to break out of sleep paralysis with really just your will, it can take 10 seconds and if not longer to break out. Another tip that I use for dealing with sleep paralysis is to have a positive mindset. This can be repeating positive affirmations, this can be repeating prayers, but really you want to sort of learn how to anticipate sleep paralysis with excitement. The reason for this is sleep paralysis, instead of the frightening sort of visual hallucinations that it's come to be associated with, you should start associating sleep paralysis with the sort of the portal or entryway into your dreams. And so when you look at sleep paralysis as something to sort of use as a means of entering your dreams instead of something that's to be feared, then your mind and your attention is way too focused on creating your dream scenario and your dream scenery to be focused on anything negative or bad that can happen. And so one of the best tips that I could give someone is to learn how to anticipate sleep paralysis. And to do that, look at sleep paralysis as a dream entryway. And so overall, to review sort of the practical tips I can give someone for limiting bad sleep paralysis experiences is to do this. It's to try to avoid sleeping with your back to the bed when doing dream work. You can sleep on your sides and on your stomach. If you're having sleep paralysis, you can wiggle your toes and fingertips to break out faster. And then also, you can look forward to sleep paralysis. You can look at it as a dream entryway or dream portal. And so I think these three things are sort of practical tips and techniques that I've used to sort of never have a bad sleep paralysis experience.